Hello, my name is Greg Lowry, and I'm the data manager at the Opportunity Project. This is a title tutorial video. Today we'll go over how to create and edit a group program at your site. Once you've logged into Title, you're going to click the site at which you're creating or running the program. You might only have access to one site, or you might have access to many. I'll be using Sample Middle School today. When you click a site, you're always taken to the Group Programs page, which you can access by clicking Group Programs from the left menu at any time. This will list all currently active programs by the provider under which you have an account. You'll also see that there is a default date range based on the current semester or school year. You can change this if you would like to see other group programs in different date ranges, as long as it includes at least one date during which that club happened. You can also click View by Date. In this case, any programs that are happening will have their dates recorded, and you can click on any date to see the attendance for all youth that are in any club that day and which club they're in. If you are someone who is in a site coordination role where you tend to help with attendance for multiple clubs, this is a really helpful tool directly from your group programs. Right now, I'm going to show you how to create a new group program. This is what you're going to do when you are creating the club that you are leading or the program that you are administering. To do so, we're going to click the Add Plus button on the top right of the screen. Here we'll begin creating some information about our club. Your service name should easily describe what your club is. When I look at this on the group programs page, hopefully I can understand what the club is or generally get a sense of what youth might do in it. This might be a creative name or it might be really simple. I'm going to use Test Club since I already have an example club. And in this case, I'm going to put my last name. In the case of teacher-led programming, it's often helpful to include the last name on the club so that it's easy for someone to see where that program might be happening. The service description is an optional place to say what you're going to be doing in your club. And your provider will usually be locked to Tulsa Enriched. In some cases, there will be a drop-down arrow here. That means that you are a site coordinator who is going to help create programs potentially for multiple partners that program at your site. Make sure that this provider that is selected is the group that is actually providing this program, if you have options. Next, you're going to select non-21st century activity. The only people to whom that does not apply are groups that receive 21st Century Community Learning Center funding. Those are few and far between and know who they are. So if you're not familiar with that terminology, you want to click non-21st century activity. Drop-in activities are extremely rare, and so I don't recommend clicking this. This is for activities like a tutoring session that you don't expect students to come to with any regular basis. Rather, they can drop in whenever. We tend to work with clubs that are having a regular meeting schedule. For program capacity, this number will not prevent you from enrolling a higher number of students later. It simply allows us to describe how many students should be able to fit into the club so that they can get a sense of how big it might be. I'll use 30 as my example. And grades served. Similarly, these grades served will not prevent you from enrolling students in other grades. Rather, they allow us to see what grades this club is a good fit for. Since I'm at a middle school, I'll choose 6th and 7th grade just as my example. I'm going to click Save and Proceed, but I do have one more step, which is to tell the system what kind of club this is. You'll get a list of categories. Please select the one that is most applicable to your club and be very thoughtful in deciding this. We use this to help describe the types of clubs that are available across Tulsa. If you run a 21st Century Community Learning Center grant, you will have a separate set of categories based on the option that you chose on the previous screen so that you can report based on the categories necessary for that grant. I'm going to choose STEM as my example for this club and click Save and Proceed. Once I've done so, I'll be taken to the general information page for this club. I'm going to click Group Programs on the left, and you'll see that my club now shows up but doesn't have any scheduled dates. To get back to it, all I need to do is click the club name. The next thing that I need to do is create a schedule. On the top, you'll see a series of tabs, which are helpful because they also tell you the order in which you have to do things. You have to create a schedule for a program before you can enroll students, and you have to enroll students before you can take their attendance. For right now, let's create our schedule. I can either do this by clicking the Schedule tab at the top or the Edit icon on Schedule down here. While I'm on this screen, if you do need to change any of the information that we entered previously, you can click the Edit icon on Activity Info as well. Now I'm going to go to my schedule by clicking Edit by Schedule. Right now, of course, there are no scheduled dates, so I need to add them by clicking Add Dates. Both of these options will work. Typically, clubs meet more than once, and so I'm going to choose multiple dates. Now I have 3 steps to complete. I need to tell it the beginning and end dates, the days of the week on which my club meets, and then the start and end time for each day of the week. The begin and end dates are not the first day on which you will have club, or at least the system won't program it that way, unless you have that day of the week chosen. So for example, if my club starts the week of August 3rd, even if I choose August 2nd, which is a Sunday, and it goes through August 29th, which is a Saturday, it will only create dates on the days of the week that I choose. For example, Mondays and Wednesdays. Once I've chosen these dates, I need to specify the start and end times. We have 15-minute increments available, so choose the closest start time that you are able to. For example, I might choose 3 to 4 p.m. Once I click Add Dates, the system will use these parameters to create all of your dates. As I said, even though I chose a Sunday, the first date won't be until Monday, August 3rd. So let's click Add Dates and see that happen. And there we go. I've got Mondays and Wednesdays each week in August created, including their beginning and end times. Right now, if I need to change the beginning and end time of any given day, I can click the Edit button next to time. However, if I'm going to adjust my schedule permanently, it would be more prudent to delete the days that don't have attendance yet and recreate them with the new schedule. If a scheduled date gets canceled or something happens that club does not meet on that scheduled date, you can check the box next to the date and click Delete Dates. The system will always warn you as to whether there are any present records you are deleting. If this number is not 0, please do not delete it because that means that attendance was taken and there are students present that we need to have in there for historical purposes. Since I have 0 and I am confirming that this is not a date on which programming is happening, I can click Confirm and it will get rid of that. And you'll see it's no longer in my schedule. At any point, I can add and delete dates as I need. Once I click General Info, I'll be taken back to the Information tab, and you'll see that it has the date range, dates, and times. Similarly, back on my group program screen, my start and end dates with the actual first and last day of programming are now recorded. There are a few things I'm going to do for my club before I continue to enroll students. The first thing is make sure that this program knows that I am the staff member associated with it. On the left menu, you'll see an option called Program Staff. Click this to see a list of any staff members that are currently active at your site. You may already be listed on here, but you may not be. If you're not listed, you're going to click Add and add yourself as a staff member. If you are listed, you don't need to take any further action here. Once I am back in my group program, I'm going to click the Edit button next to the Staff box. Here, I'll have the option to assign staff members to the program. We'll assume that John Doe is the teacher leading this. I can change his role, though this will not affect anything for the program. If this is the only staff member, I'll click Save and Return. If there are other staff members that assist, I would click Add Plus and add them as necessary from the list that I have of program staff. When I save and return, not only is John Doe listed there, but their work number is also going to be listed. This makes it super easy for someone to contact the adult in this room if their room number isn't working or if there isn't an easy way to contact them otherwise. This is the basics of how to add information on a group club and create and edit the schedule for a group club. Thank you so much for watching this video, and check out more tutorials to see how to enroll students and perform other steps in Title.